There are nearly 15 million people in this country who are either living with Alzheimer's or caring for someone who is. This week, some of the leading experts in the field of Alzheimer's and brain health will be in New Orleans for a one-day educational conference. I caught up with one of the speakers, Dr. Ann Foundas, the executive director of the Brain Institute of Louisiana. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So kind of tell us a little bit about this conference and the importance of it here in Louisiana.
Well, the conference is something that is happening across America. So the Alzheimer's Foundation has been sponsoring this to go to a lot of major cities throughout the country. The reason I think it's particularly important for Louisiana is that our population, I think a lot of people don't know that we're 50th, meaning we have the greatest risk for developing cognitive decline, including Alzheimer's and other types of dementia.
So what is Alzheimer's for folks who may not be familiar with it or even know the signs of it, or maybe who haven't experienced it in their life?
So Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia. So it's about 40% of all cases of cognitive decline. So Alzheimer's disease is 10 or 20 years even before a person has changes in their memory or thinking. They develop changes in brain cells and brain connections so that brain function changes over time. So if you want to understand a little more about it, so there are A-beta protein, which is an amyloid protein, is outside of the cell, and over time it becomes toxic in clumps. And then tau, which is another abnormal protein in people who develop Alzheimer's, is at the level of the cell. And so together, those two changes eventually cause cell death and the brain shrinks. And when the brain shrinks in particular areas like the hippocampus, so that's in the temporal lobe, the mesial temporal lobe, the first sign that you see in people with Alzheimer's is profound memory loss. So difficulty with new learning and memory. People with Alzheimer's have problems coming up with words more than expected, so it impacts their communication. And then they have trouble with visual spatial functions, meaning they get lost even in familiar places over time. And as the disease progresses and there's more and more of these pathological changes in the nerve cells, the person becomes more impaired and cannot function independently day to day. And then they have what we call dementia. And that's when family members or loved ones get involved in care. And this conference is not just so that we can educate people about Alzheimer's and other causes of cognitive decline, but to try to provide support and resources for caregivers. So in Louisiana, 1 in 7 adults is providing care. And actually, it turns out if you look, it's even more than that in terms of individuals providing care for Alzheimer's. I believe it's 1 in 4 adults. And then people that are not providing care, 1 in 5 adults is worried that in the next 2 years they may have to care for a loved one. And it's very difficult emotionally, and also the burden. It turns out in this country and in Louisiana, people that care for individuals with cognitive decline spend about 22 hours a week of unpaid work caring for these individuals. So it's a terrible emotional burden to see your loved one decline, but it's also an economic burden and very difficult.
So on the conference note, how can folks register for this, and where is it going to be? Can you give us the details there?
Yes, so it is, so the doors open at 9 and the conference goes from 9 till 1 and the program starts at 10. But there are going to be dementia screenings too available for individuals that you can sign up for. So I think if you could just go to alzheimersfoundation.org, so it's alzfdn.org/tour, you can sign up for it.
All right, Dr. Ann Foundas, appreciate you being with us and sharing that insightful information on this conference. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Of course, and that conference again is going to be Wednesday. That's going to be from 10 to 1 at the Embassy Suites Hotel on Julia Street in downtown New Orleans. It is open to everyone, and you can register to attend by following the link on our website, wwltv.com. Just click on the Links tab.